What is up, YouTube? Welcome to another Raid Shadow Legends video. Hope you guys are having a fantastic day. In today's video, guys, I want to talk about the best 3 champions every single one of you guys should build, regardless if you're early game, mid game, end game. These champions will provide value to your accounts. Now, one thing that I want to mention from the very beginning, just in case if some of you guys will absolutely drop it in the comments, I am prioritizing champions that were given for free this year, and I'm talking about champions that can be obtained from quests, missions, and other different areas like that, right? So you won't be hearing me talking about champions like Ninja, for example, right? We know he might not come back ever again, right? It's quite a while since they've released him the first time, and I think they gave him for free again last year, if I remember it correctly. But I might be wrong, because I know a lot of you guys are new to the game or newish, and you want to hear stuff about the champions that you potentially already have on your account. Starting with the very first one, and I've actually recently done a video on her, Lemnisci. Now, I would not recommend you to skill her up or anything like that unless you really need a good damage dealer for the Sylvan Watchers. She's not the best damage dealers for this faction, but truth be told, this faction overall is kind of like really lacking good damage dealers. You have Eilil, you have Keldor, which is really powerful if you get him. Then we have, of course, Lemnisci, Aratea. She's not really that good overall as a damage dealer. Kauwilte is nice, niche. And then you have epic champions. But Lemnisci can actually solo Ammius, which is really good, especially if you have the 5-star Brimstone, the 5-star soul for her, which was given for free as well. 1,000,000% worth taking to 6-star, get some masteries on her. And if you're struggling in that content, I would absolutely build her and use her. Really reliable and pretty easy to get the job done versus Ammius. I'm not gonna go over reading all of their skills and stuff, because probably you guys are well aware of what these champions do and stuff like that, or you can of course check the skills by yourself. Just briefly, kind of like things that matter, and I am going to point where you're gonna be able to use the champions, right? So it's all about the heal reduction on her, a regen set, and she will get a job done. If you want to use her as a damage dealer, of course, you're gonna want to go with Savage, something that will enable her to do a lot of damage. Mikage, she's not really a free champion, guys. She's more of a fusion. She's an amazing champion. That's why I'm not going to include her in the list. You will get her eventually, but it's kind of like a matter of time in terms of acquiring the right champions to fuse her. 1,000,000% worth building. I feel like she's an absolute game changer for everybody. Even if you're the biggest, filthiest Kraken in the game, Mikage will be a game changer for you as well. Then, talking about other champions, Embrace. A lot of you guys might be wondering, is it worth putting books in him? 1,000,000%. He's just such a powerful champion. He's not necessarily the best PvE champion in terms of damage and stuff, but he's crazy good at controlling, stripping the buffs from enemies. And I would 1,000,000% recommend you to fully book him. Of course, if you can dodge a couple of skills like the A1 or something like that, you can get away with it. But even like that, I would still fully book him just to enhance his damage a bit more. Is literally having the ability to remove the stone skin, even though they kind of like fixed that stuff in a PvP, transforming the buffs onto enemies onto the equivalent of the debuffs, which is crazy powerful. The necrosis stacks, the attack down, the fear, the extra turn, and then the second part, which is crazy good as well, with a passive that keeps him alive, reflects the damage, swaps HP, extra turn, increasing damage. He's overall a very good champion. And as I was saying, he's not going to absolutely nuke everybody down, but for my account in Faction Wars Hard Mode, he was key to enable me to just absolutely destroy those freaking waves, which are really annoying. So if you're wondering, once you're done with picking up enough fragments for this champion, is it worth booking him? No second thoughts, guys. Very, very good. Either you build him on Stone Skin and Savage, either you build him on Merciless, either you build him on Lethal or something like that, that will work in both PvE and PvP. An absolute goated champion. Yes, he's not the best champion for bosses. He's not gonna take your Chimera or Hydra damage to the next level, but pretty much everywhere else, he is in freaking sane. From the Dark Elves, we do have an epic champion that I would recommend you to build regardless. And we have a bunch of legendaries as well, but let's start with the epic champion. And that one is Dark Kael. Now, you might be at a point where you might say, well, it's no point for me to build Dark Kael after all this time because he's not really going to do anything for my account. The thing is, he's going to be very, very good even for a Faction Wars hard mode where you need to land a lot of debuffs on the enemies. That's the condition. He was key for me in there. Like, bringing all of the debuffs is what enabled me to get the job done. Great for some particular content when we have challenges for dungeon tournaments, some areas in the Curse City versus bosses, really, really good. And we might not have it right now on any of my clanmates teams, but a lot of people are using him in the very, very high-end Chimera to score in a lot of trials. So I'm quickly going to browse to see if anyone is using him instead of Theodore. Every now and then you will see that, but now we have Balar, which is available too. So probably only people that might not have one or the other will be using Kael in here. But if you guys remember from previous videos where I showed you, a lot of people were using him in here. But now Balar kind of like replaced that. And Balar was a guaranteed champion. And of course, my filthy degenerate clanmates will go for the guaranteed events. Then, from the Dark Elves, I don't think there's any point in me telling you to build Lydia and Mitrala because that's a no-brainer. You should not even think about that. They're both absolutely amazing. Lydia being the most OP free legendary that we're getting in the game, I think. Overall, she's just so good everywhere, and I think she's literally one of the best in the entire game as a free champion, right? Mitrala, really, really good. V6, on the other hand, guys, will be given to you on daily logins, okay? And I do think she's worth building, especially if you're progressing through the game by any chance. Maybe you pull her earlier or something. The provoke is really, really good. Having the A1 manipulating thermometer, the decreased speed, good provoker for Hydra progression, massive for Curse City, massive for Faction Wars hard mode, and I'm talking about endgame content. So that's what I said. These champions will provide value to your accounts regardless where you might be in the game. And I would 1,000,000% recommend you to even book her when you're going to have the books available. That's one of the problems that we all have in the game, not having enough resources to develop the champions, right? But she is a very, very good champion worth building. From the Undead faction, truth be told, Ultimate Dead Knight is great, but he's an old champion. We're not going to talk about old champions. And we don't really have anything else that's free and great in here, okay? We really do not have any other free champions from this faction unless I forgot something. I'm not talking about fusion champions and other things like that. In the Demon Spawn faction, funny enough, I think we have probably some of the best free champions together with the Dark Elves, okay? Carnage. Carnage is an absolute monster, both PvE and PvP, 1,000,000% worth booking. No questions asked about that either. Great for Hydra damage, great for waves, great for PvP. It's just his ability of actually locking passives, locking skills, spreading debuffs, and the second form can deal crazy, crazy damage, especially with the right setup. Having enough debuffs on the target, he has the highest base attack in the entire game. Almost 2,000 attack. And his damage is based on attack and accuracy. Now, the thing with Carnage, he is a free champion, but it takes a lot of time to get this champion out of the Curse City. You will require to do a lot of work to collect the fragments, right? I don't have to tell you that, but I'm very curious to know how many of you guys actually have him. So I will be doing a poll on the channel. Please take a moment, go and vote. Let me know if you have him or you don't. It's just to kind of like give me a better understanding of where you guys are in the game in terms of like content. How many of you guys have actually defeated the Curse City and collected Carnage? How close you are to it, etc. But he is absolutely goated. Dragstar is another very good champion worth building. Truth be told, he will drop a lot of value towards endgame, in the endgame. I'm not finding myself using him in many different areas. I tried using him in Faction Wars hard mode. I wasn't too excited about that. You can use him in Faction Wars, of course, if you do not have other champions. So that's why I'm saying that he is worth building. He can be a pretty good tank, landing the HP burn. He has the provoke, not the highest chance to do it though, the decrease attack, and the triple hitter with a burn. Good for Fire Knight progression. True, a bit slow and stuff like that. Curse City, a different story. He's actually pretty damn good when he is available on specific rotations. But for Faction Wars hard mode, he disappointed me a little bit. I wish he would have a higher chance to basically place that provoke. Okay, that can increase, of course, but it does need to be an HP burn on the enemies before you're using the skill, which might not necessarily be the easiest thing to get done all the time. Then, talking about Lammasu, really powerful champion as well, worth building. I mean, she's just too nasty. PvE content. I haven't tried her in PvP much, but I am seeing a lot of people using her in PvP, especially in live arena. And that's mainly because of her ability to cleanse the intercept and the Termiter. This is a huge amount of Termiter, 50%, guys, and resets the cooldowns of skills. 50% will instantly make your champion take a turn, because even though it might be much slower than the enemy, having so much Termiter on top of what you currently have is almost guaranteed to make your champion move in front of the enemy. And that's really good. You have the speed aura. I like the block buffs, the decreased speed, the decreased attack. Either you build her on Feral, either you build her on a curse set for PvE content that works really nice, a stun set. You have so many different options. Of course, for PvP, you want to have her pretty damn fast. Now, she comes from the Siege mode, which again is pretty grindy content, and it might take you quite a bit of time to get her, especially if you are stuck in a clan that doesn't really participate in sieges, doesn't really try to improve in that area, right? Then, talking about epics, we do have Akot. I think he's an absolute freaking goat. I am running him in the Curse City. I use him in Faction Wars hard mode. And yes, if you got him and you think that your account is way too developed to build him, think twice, because I can guarantee you he will benefit you. Curse City, Faction Wars hard mode is the ability for him to land the AoE HP burn and then lock their skills if they are under an HP burn. Really good, right? I forgot to mention Ryan the Conjurer, which is actually a pretty good free champion as well. I've just actually realized that she comes from the Doom Tower too. The only thing is, I did not use her in so long that I can't even remember. Okay, so that was one of the main reasons why I forgot about that champion. But she can be pretty good for a lot of different accounts, just not on mine. Moving on to the next one, guys. We have one very good champion that comes from the Doom Tower as well, and he is worth building. I haven't used him in quite a while personally, but Val the Destroyer has this crazy passive that will enable you to do crazy damage in the Hydra, especially if you manage to get a good soul for him. You can build him on Merciless, you can build him on Savage, you can build him on Lethal, and the more you go into a fight, the more damage he's going to deal. Very good for the clan boss as well to deal damage. He will bring his own weaken to the table and decrease attack. This is a pretty nice skill as well that can pull in crazy numbers. The AoE doesn't hit extremely powerful, but his A1 and A3 are what basically brings in a lot of damage. You know, these skills are really powerful and worth building 100%. You can run him in the Chimera too. Is not going to provide you with the best result at the moment, even though he has a very good passive. They are other champions, enemy max HP champions that will overall dominate over a Val the Destroyer, for example, right? But he's still worth building. Moving on to the next one, I mean the elephant in the room, or rather said, the horse in the room, right? Sun Wukong is an old champion. He's not from this year, guys, so we're not going to discuss about him, of course. If by any chance you can still acquire one from a code or something like that, which I'm not sure if is possible, build him. He is insane. But Marius, really, really, really powerful champion. It might take you some time to put your hand on this bad boy to do the missions and stuff, but best enemy max HP champion in the game. He is so powerful for PvP, so powerful for PvE. Hydra, bosses in general in dungeons to speed farm them. Chimera, clan boss, live arena, regular arena, siege mode, everywhere, okay? And I know a lot of... The reason why I'm talking about him, because it's very obvious you're going to build him. I'm seeing a lot of you guys putting it in the comments. You know what, Skratch? I'm not really doing the missions for Marius. I can't be bothered. I would strongly recommend you to do them, man. Like, you play the game for having the kind of like engage with different challenges. And I would 1,000,000% recommend you to go and get him, because he's going to absolutely change your account. Trust me when I'm telling you that. Then, moving on to the next one, guys. In the Lizardman faction, we do have a couple of baddies in here. We do have Broadma, which is a free epic fusion that you can acquire at any given time in the game. I think he's very good to be used as fodder for champion chase tournaments. Just constantly fuse him. But he can be very helpful, especially progression-wise. Now in the end game, I don't really find myself using him anywhere. But if you're early, mid-game progression, even in the end game for the Curse City, you can 1,000,000% use him. Since his bad old days, he did get a buff, right? You can freeze with the A1, the increased crit rate, increased speed, turn meter. The revive is not the best, but it can be very helpful, especially for Faction Wars hard mode. A lot of you guys are kind of like always saying, you know what, Ramantu sucks. It's no point to kind of like build him anymore. He's kind of like expired and all that stuff. I really disagree with it. Like, I'm using my Ramantu every single day. I think you can see it over and over and over again, how many people are using Ramantu in an event dungeon, because he's key to it with the block active skills and block passives. The debuffs, really, really good in the Chimera. A lot of people are using him in the Chimera. I think he's a great, great champion. And in more or less in a similar situation with Marius, do the missions, guys, because he is worth building. Trust me when I'm telling you that. He's a very, very nice champion. Not niche at all. Like, you can actually use him in a lot of content. Moving on to the next one. We are getting close to the end right here, guys. This is a bit more controversial because it's not like they hand this champion to you for free, right? But I would definitely recommend you to go on BlueStacks, create 3 freaking different accounts through your referral. It takes you around 15 minutes to do those accounts to level 15, if I remember it correctly, and collect the 100 fragments to get Jamarsam. It's literally a 15-20 minutes job, and you're gonna get this champion after. I think she's really, 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 really good, especially in the Curse City. Like, I'm using her on some of the hardest stages in the game, and she can be massive for Faction Wars. Very good revive, AoE, is the healing, the turn meter, nice passive, and the sleep on the A1. I think she's worth building 1,000,000%. Seal of the Drakes, yes, worth building. Regardless of where you are in the game, you will end up in using her in some particular content. Either Faction Wars, either Curse City, either God knows what other content they might be bringing our way. The stun, the healing. Give her a Relentless set or something like that, and she will be really, really solid. And she has very good reviews, right? Moving on to the next faction champions. We do have, of course, Alice, which was a free champion somewhere at the beginning of the year, if I remember it correctly. worth building 100%, especially if you don't have crazy lockout champions. I used her in Faction Wars hard mode and she was very, very, very helpful. I wasn't her biggest fan personally because they are epic champions that lock skills like she does, okay? But the fact that she can put in some pretty good damage, especially with this skill, very nice passive too, I think she's worth building, worth booking as well. She will bring value to your account. If you're early game, mid game, still progressing, she's going to be very, very good for PvP for you as well. And even in the late game, probably a lot of you guys are actually using her and you're getting value out of her. Then, mod, I wouldn't say she's a free champion, even though you can get her for free, but it's like miles away. Like, out of all of the free champions, she is the hardest champion to get, okay? Because you need to literally sacrifice fusion, sacrifice those fragments to get her. That's why I would not put her in the same group, okay? Arthur, he was given to us for free at some point this year. I think he's good for Faction Wars, good for the Curse City. I wouldn't necessarily go all crazy to build the champion. Yes, he does bring the revive, the increased attack, AoE, skill on the A1, which can be nice on a stun set, the increased attack, the strengthen, the thermometer. He does not bring good healing, okay? That is my problem with the champion. You do need another support next to him to carry your team, but that is not necessarily a problem. I did use him in Faction Wars hard mode to boost the thermometer to get that increased attack, and yeah, I would probably build him. Would I put my books into him straight away? Probably not, unless I really feel like I need to in order to progress through the content, what I'm trying to use him, right? I'm not gonna tell you build Arbiter because you already know that, guys. Arbiter, she is pretty damn nice, worth building even today, even if you're gonna get her tomorrow in 1,000 years. I think she's still gonna be a very good champion that just ages well. You're gonna end up in using her regardless. Now, if we're gonna go on to the Bannerlords, Rhonda, she's an old champion. We're not gonna talk about her. I do want to talk about Archmage Helmet. You're gonna get him from the Doom Tower as well, and 1,000,000% worth building. A very good activator for Seer because of all of the buffs that he brings. You can give him some damage and he's gonna surprise you. The stun, really good, especially in the Curse City. And he was massive for Faction Wars hard mode on my account as well. And he's just an epic champion that everybody can get and use. Build him, get the masteries. I would give him some damage, okay? I would give him some damage, a bit of crit rate, the accuracy, so he's gonna actually put in some serious work for you. And the final champion that we kind of like got for free recently, I think the event just ended, or it might end in 1 or 2 days. Michelangelo the Turtle. I think he's really nice. That doesn't mean that I'm using him in a million areas on my account. Truth be told, I'm not really using him at the moment, okay? But with the A1, the increased attack on the champion, you have this skill right here, which is really nice with the stun, the defense down, and the debuff spread. There are only 3 champions in the entire game that can do a debuff spread, taking all of the debuffs from one target, putting them on all of the rest, okay? Which already makes him very unique and very powerful. His damage is pretty decent. It's not insane, but it's decent enough. And the AoE, decrease attack, the leech, the taunt on himself, the passive with the evade, the shield on himself. I think he's definitely a pretty good champion, especially Hydra progression, dungeon progression. You can use him in a lot of different areas. These are, in my opinion, guys, the best free-to-play champions worth building in 2025. Rathalos is good, but this event was last year or maybe 2 years ago. I can't even remember. So that's why I don't want to talk about the older champions that we've got. We already talked about them in many different videos. We know that they're good, that they're worth building. I wanted to kind of like talk about the newish champions, some of the old champions that can be acquired from missions and different content and stuff like that. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. If you think that I've missed anyone that's really important, really good, I would definitely love to hear your thoughts on that. Much love, and I will catch you all in the next video. Peace.